I'm just curious, what is it like looking in the mirror every day, knowing that you are a misogynist, you are a racist, and you are homophobic? How do you live with yourself, sir, every single day, making jokes? And then he hangs up the phone like the coward he was.
Hi, Brian. Again, thank you for having me.
Wait, did you just start this call by saying Heil?
So what I'd like to do right now...
Did I hear that right, listeners? Did I hear that right? Okay, maybe I misheard you, but go ahead.
What I'd like to do right now is tell you that I just saw a poll that said that Kwanzaa and Juneteenth are considered less of a holiday than Toyotathon. That's hilarious.
Do you think Juneteenth is funny?
I think it's considered less of a holiday than Toyotathon.
Why do you think that's funny? Do you understand the people that lost their lives? Do you understand the significance of that day? Why do you think that's funny? Why do you think it's why would you make a joke of what took place on Juneteenth? I'm trying to understand, Eddie. Why are you laughing? Can you tell us why you're laughing?
I think it's funny. You weren't alive. I wasn't alive. So what's it? Let's.
So if we weren't alive, if we weren't alive, that makes it okay.
That's correct. Brian, can I finish up?
Do you think the Holocaust was funny? Because that didn't happen in our lifetime either.
That's correct. That you are right. How does it affect us?
So you think slavery? Do you think slavery was a good thing?
I'm not saying it wasn't bad.
Well, what is Juneteenth then? What is it? Tell me what it is. What is the significance of Juneteenth then? If you don't think you think slavery was bad, then what is Juneteenth?
Wasn't that the last day that one of them blacks were slaves and let go?
It commemorates the end of slavery. So why would you laugh at something like that? Why wouldn't you say it's a good thing?
Because it's less of a holiday than Toyotathon.
Why do you keep making that same joke over and over again? Let me guess, you're a Donald Trump supporter. Is that true?
That last guy, Eddie, I think it was wrong that he asked you that question, so I'm going to re-ask the question for you. What was the color of your last boyfriend?
So you're a homophobe, you're a racist, and I think that if there's anybody on this show that cares about whether I'm taken or not, it would probably be you, because you probably pleasure yourself to me every night. I'm just curious, what is it like looking in the mirror every day, knowing that you are a misogynist, you are a racist, and you are homophobic? How do you live with yourself, sir, every single day, making jokes? And then he hangs up the phone like the coward he was. Thank you so much for the phone call. My goodness. You're an idiot, Al. You're an imbecile. You're just an imbecile. Yeah. You are. Yeah. You're a patriot, Al. Get the hell off my show.
Okay, Brian, first of all, I don't want to start getting all yelling. Well, we are eventually going to start yelling at each other because I know us. And you're going around saying that you don't support violence.
No, I don't.
And what about all of these people in L.A. throwing rocks at the police?
What did I say about those people? And what did I say about those people? What did I say about those people?
Well, you're saying you're supporting them.
When did I say I support people throwing rocks at officers? See, this is why I get. This is why. Hold on. No, you hold on. You just made an assumption, Al, about me. And guess what? I'm not going to scream at you, even though I should. I have said every single day I'm on the radio that I don't support any form of violence. Never have I ever said that, and never I will. But you know who does support violence, Al? Can I give you a hint? He puts on 8 layers of orange makeup, and he's the guy who you voted for. Do you know why? Hold on. It's not okay.
I let you speak.
No, first of all, you didn't let me do anything. It's my show and not yours, Al, okay? I called the shots, not you. That's number one. Number two, the man who you voted for pardoned people who beat police officers on January 6th. So you want to make a judgment about me that is wrong and not true. Why would you vote for a guy who supports people beating police officers on January 6th? Not only did he pardon them, but he called them patriots and hostages. Are you willing to call out your orange leader, the man who you voted for?
Well, I'm going to be calling out the people over in LA.
Answer my question. Nope, you're going to answer my question, and then I will let you continue, okay? Do you support Donald Trump, who has called people who beat cops on January 6th hostages and patriots? You see, because it doesn't fit your narrative, you don't want to answer the question. But now you made a judgment.
You're a hypocrite.
Oh, I'm a hypocrite. You're the guy who calls into this show and says you're not for violence. I tell you, never have I ever condoned violence in any way, shape, or form. In fact, when it came to what happened in LA, I said, anybody who broke the law, I want them held to the highest extent of the law. But you're the guy who won't call out Donald Trump for pardoning a bunch of January 6th insurrectionists, some of whom beat cops. So, Al, remind me again who the hypocrite is.
You are the hypocrite.
Why? Why am I the hypocrite?
Call out the Democratic Party.
Why am I a hypocrite?
Give me,
hey, Al, give me an example.
I'm telling you, I just told you, you can't hear.
What? Give me an example. No, you claim that I'm okay with people throwing rocks and violence at protests.
Why don't you call it? Okay.
I just did, you stupid fool. Okay. I just did.
Okay. Why don't you call out Nancy Pelosi and all those other people for allowing their and Maxine Waters for allowing that kind of behavior in Los Angeles?
Okay, so you didn't respond to what I just said about Donald Trump. Nancy Pelosi, how did Maxine Waters allow it?
I will respond to Donald Trump.
Wait.
I want to respond. Okay, now you want me to hold on. Go ahead.
What did Maxine Waters say? What did she do to support violence in LA? Can you please tell me?
She said, I don't see any violence out there when I'm watching rocks getting thrown over the 101 freeway.
She never said.
I grew up in Los Angeles.
No. You're not going to, first of all, you're not going to get away with that. Just because Maxine Waters didn't see it doesn't mean that she condones it. You're too dumb to understand the difference. Now let's go to Nancy. I'm not going to wait a minute. I'm not going to wait a minute. Just because she said she didn't see it with her own eyes doesn't mean that she condones it. What do you think is worse? What do you think is worse?
Man.
What do you think is worse? Why don't you be quiet? Why don't you
answer your Trump question?
I gave you three opportunities. What do you think is worse? Maxine Waters, who says she didn't see anybody throwing rocks, or Donald Trump, who calls people hostages and patriots who beat cops? Why don't you answer that question?
Okay. Ask the question one more time, please.
Are you serious?
I wasn't paying attention.
I know, Al. You don't. I know, Al. Understand, Al. I know you don't pay attention to a lot of things. You watch your Newsmax and your OAN, and you're ill-informed. I know you laugh because you know it's true. Let me ask again. Why don't you be quiet? Let me ask again. What do you think is worse? What do you think is worse? Maxine Waters, who made a statement that she didn't see anybody throwing rocks, or Donald Trump, who called people who beat cops on January 6th hostages and patriots? What do you think is worse?
Okay. I think those people, those small group of people that
didn't ask you the group. I didn't ask you about what you thought about what they did. I asked you what you think is worse. Answer the question.
Well, I'm answering the question right now. I think it was wrong for those people.
Didn't ask you if you thought it was wrong. I didn't ask you if you thought it was wrong.
Okay.
I'm going to ask the question again. This is why I get frustrated, Al. This is now the third time. I'm giving you the opportunity to answer it. You're not answering. I didn't ask you if it was wrong. Anybody with an IQ over 20 with a moral compass would say it's wrong, okay? Unless you're Donald Trump. What do you think is worse? You called into this show and you had a problem with Maxine Waters allegedly saying that she didn't see anybody throwing rocks, which I'm sure she's telling the truth. Not everybody saw it. What do you think is worse? Maxine Waters saying she didn't see anybody throwing rocks, or Donald Trump calling people who beat police officers on January 6th hostages and patriots and giving them a pardon? What do you think is worse? I'm not asking you what you think is wrong.
I think it's the most stupidest question that has no relevance.
Answer the question. It does have no. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why it does have relevance, because you're not smart enough to understand. Here's why it has relevance. You called into this show because you claim you don't like violence. You support Donald Trump and you voted for him. You're so upset that allegedly Maxine Waters made a statement that she didn't see anybody throwing rocks. She didn't condone the violence. She didn't call those people patriots and hostages, and she didn't pardon them. The guy who you voted for pardoned people who beat cops on January 6th. Why won't you answer that question? What is worse? This is now the fourth time I'm asking you.
The one that's worse is Maxine Waters.
Okay, well, then you're an idiot. Then you're a complete idiot. You just said on this show that you think it's worse that Maxine Waters said she didn't see anybody throwing rocks, and you're claiming that is worse than giving pardons to people who beat cops on January 6th. Al, you're a complete imbecile. You're an idiot. Why don't you just admit you're a biased buffoon and you're an imbecile? And why don't you go back?
I am not
why
an
don't you
imbecile.
crawl back into your stupid MAGA hole and listen to your right-wing talk shows in Las Vegas with 5 listeners? Okay, pal? Why don't you do that? Because every time you call into this show, you embarrass yourself. And instead of like a normal human being that says, boy, I disagree with Donald Trump's pardons. What Donald Trump did was wrong. Those people are not hostages. They're not patriots. You go after the black woman. Why is that, Al? Why is that? Is it because you're an imbecile? Is it because you're not capable of answering a question honestly? Or maybe both, Al? Which one is it, pal? Which one is it? Yeah, have a nice day.
What it is what it is that I'm in tune with the reality.
Yeah, you're in tune. Yeah, you're in tune with reality. The guy who just said that Maxine Waters claiming that she didn't see anybody throwing rocks is worse than the president of the United States calling somebody a hostage and a patriot who beats a cop. You're an idiot, Al. You're an imbecile. You're just an imbecile. Yeah. You are. Yeah. You're a patriot, Al. Get the hell off my show. You imbecile. You MAGA fool, you. Next time you make a claim about somebody or say somebody's wrong about something, have some sort of statement ready to go. All right, George, what's on your mind?
Do you ever consider the fact that you guys are just wrong about stuff? I mean, I'm not MAGA Republic person.
Sure.
And
so what am I wrong about? So what am I wrong about?
Well, you guys just seem to bash the hell out of the Republican Party.
No. Okay, George, well, let's focus. Okay, first of all, it's not you guys, it's me. I don't know why you refer to you guys. So what specifically?
Well, you're a Democrat. That's obvious.
Okay. So George, you're wrong right from the get-go. I'm a registered independent who didn't vote for Barack Obama or Hillary Clinton. So you're already off to a really bad start. I think if anybody has their facts wrong, it's you. But that's okay. Let's have a conversation, George. Specifically, what did I say that was wrong? Be specific. Hello, Earth to George. And George hangs up the phone. Earth to George. Nice call, George. You call into the show. You say that I'm, quote, wrong about everything. And then when I ask you specifically, what am I wrong about? You don't name one thing. You hang up the phone and you call me a Democrat. George, you're a complete imbecile. And you just proved it to everybody that listens to the show. Here's a little tip for you, George. Next time you make a claim about somebody or say somebody's wrong about something, have some sort of statement ready to go. Saying that you're wrong about everything and then you can't name one thing makes you sound like the imbecile that you are. But then again, you're Donald Trump's base. Thanks for the call, Georgie. Have a nice day.